Hello, everyone, and welcome you all in today's MSVU MSM Agent E-Summit 2020 October Live. I see a lot of attendees on the process of joining in. We all are going through this unprecedented time, and I'm hoping that all of you are safe and healthy from wherever you are joining us for this webinar. A very good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are attending this webinar. I would like to thank you all for taking out time and being here today with us. I'm Chitra Sani, and I'm taking care of Mount St. Vincent University recruitment for India subcontinent at Mount St. Vincent University. And I'm also your moderator for the day. I'm delighted and pleased to introduce today's presenter, Ashley Jain, who is our International Business Development Consultant for MSVU. Before I hand over to Ashley, I will run through the housekeeping requirements that are needed for the today's presentation on Zoom platform. So you can see some of the options at the uh, bottom level of Zoom platform. In case of any technical issue, please drop message into the chat box. And in case you are having some queries regarding Mount St. Vincent University or our programs, please put them in Q&A section. Without any further ado, over to you, Ashley.
Thank you so much, Chitra, and welcome everyone to the MSM webinar featuring Mount St. Vincent University. My name is Ashley Jain, and good morning from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Thank you for taking the time this evening to join me to learn a little bit more about Mount St. Vincent University. Now, before I share my screen and before I begin my presentation, I'd like to give you a little bit of information about myself. I think it's important to know your speaker for today, and especially the experience that I bring to the institution. So originally, I come from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I started as an international student here in Canada a long time ago. When I was 18, I traveled from Malaysia, my hometown, to the east coast of Canada, right here in Halifax, and I began my study journey with Mount St. Vincent University. I decided to go for the Bachelor of Public Relations program. I was an excellent communicator. I wanted to enhance my interpersonal communication skills, and I wanted to learn some really cool strategies as to how to do some publicity, but also to enhance my writing. I enjoyed communicating and writing, and so decided to do the public relations program right here at Mount St. Vincent University, because our university is the pioneering institution for communications here in Canada. We were the first university that established the public relations degree program. Not only was the program very well known, it also comes with a paid work internship. So in order for myself to graduate, I had to, study 4 years, but I also had to do 3 co-op work terms as part of my degree. And I'll get into that a little bit later. So that's just a little bit of information about myself. I'm a proud alumni for MSVU, and I proudly work for them now as well, talking to lots of people, stakeholders, parents, and students about the wonders of the study experience here at Mount St. Vincent University. So just give me a moment while I share my screen, and I will start the presentation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about all the really great advantages of choosing Mount St. Vincent University for students. And Mount St. Vincent University is a public university, and so we are subsidized by the provincial government here in Nova Scotia. We're very old, and we have been established since 1873, and we have a really amazing, really interesting history. When we started, at that time, women were not allowed to go to school. And so the founders of this university were a group of women, obviously. They were Catholic sisters And they established Mount St. Vincent University to educate women, not only to educate them and advance their status within their own community and their society, but educate them to become teachers so they can continue that legacy of education amongst their community and amongst girls. And so we were the first university in Canada to admit women into post-secondary education in the entire British Commonwealth at that time. So we were the first women's university. And of course, then in 1960s, we became a co-educational institution. And so in 1960s, we started admitting both men and women to the institution. Okay. Now that I've told you a little bit about our history, that gives you a really good background, I'm going to jump to a really quick video to show you how beautiful my campus is. 1 second. Okay, so that was just a really quick 60-second video of my campus. And as you could tell from the video, how green and how beautiful it is. And we are, yes, located right next to the beautiful Bedford Basin. So when students go to class, they actually look right out onto the water. It's a really serene and very charming environment here for our students. So some quick facts about the institution. We have about 4,300 students in total for our student population, representing about 77 different countries. And because of our size and student population number, we're able to offer smaller class sizes, and we're actually really well known in Canada for our smaller class sizes. On average, in your first year as a student, they would only have about 23 people altogether. We're also really proud to be able to offer cutting-edge research opportunities to our undergraduate seeking students as well. Not many universities in Canada are able to offer real-world research and finding scientific information and evidence, especially at the undergraduate level. But at Mount St. Vincent University, we offer those opportunities to our science students, and so they can build their resume and portfolio and excel their skills in hopes of going into graduate school later. So we offer that really cool, really great foundation for graduate studies at the undergraduate level here at MSVU. Not only do we offer these research opportunities, we have work experiences in all of our undergraduate programs. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more in specific about what those work experiences look like, but there are 3 types, basically co-ops, internships, and practicums, and I will talk about that a little bit later. Okay, onwards to geography. Where are we in the world? If you've never heard of Halifax, Nova Scotia, that's okay. I'm happy to be the ambassador here for you today. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this place that I now call home. Halifax is the capital city of Nova Scotia, and Halifax is located right on the Atlantic Ocean. As you can see on this map, we are on the eastern shores of Canada. If you were to fly from several popular destinations internationally, we're about a 2.5-hour flight from Toronto, about a 2-hour flight from New York, or about a 6 to 7-hour flight direct from London in the United Kingdom. So that's where we are in the world. If someone was to fly from Halifax all the way to the other coast of Canada in the west, which would be Vancouver, that would take somebody about 7 to 8 hours and multiple flights to get to Vancouver. So about 2 flights for anyone coming from the east to the west. Canada is a big country, and so it is further away, and we are actually closer to Europe than we are to the west coast of Canada. Okay, so really some more information about the city itself. So as you can see in the pictures, it's absolutely picturesque and has a beautiful scenery everywhere you go. Because of the ocean, we are shaped by the ocean, and so is the history of this city and the economy of this city as well. The population is almost at 500,000 people. It's an extremely popular destination for new immigrants because of its diversity and serenity, and also its safety. And then, so a lot of families moving to Halifax as well for a better lifestyle for their children. And we're also known as Canada's smart city. And that's because in this city, there are multiple public institutions located within the radius of the city. So if I were to drive from Mount St. Vincent University, into the downtown core, I would hit about 4 different public universities. So there are many students that live in this city and decide to come here to go to school. Of course, it's a very safe, welcoming city. I found it to be very safe coming from a city with 5 million people into a city of 500,000 people. I found that people it's more of a community here. People are friendly. People are open, curious, and very welcoming of people that are out from outside of Halifax. And so I have found it a very friendly place to live. A little bit more information about the infrastructure of Mount St. Vincent University. So we are only a 7-minute drive from the downtown core of Halifax. In the previous slide, I showed you a beautiful picture with buildings and on the water. That's the Halifax Harbor, the second deepest harbor in the world, next to Sydney Harbor in Australia. And we're only a 7-minute drive to the downtown area. Mount St. Vincent University has 40 acres of green natural space. We are a campus that is all located in one area. So unlike other institutions where they have buildings in different parts of the city that students have to travel to go to class, we have 6 to 7 main buildings on campus, and they're all in one area. We're also a connected campus. What does that mean? Connected means that physically I can go from residence to have my breakfast, and then right to my class, and then to the library to see my friends in the student center, all within the inside of the building. So it's all connected. All the buildings in the university are connected, which is great, especially for international students, or especially for myself. I have never experienced 4 seasons before. And so it's nice sometimes if you don't have to go outside when it's raining or if it's snowing. Okay, residences. I love talking about residences because I've had such great experience there. That's where I've met my lifelong friends, and that's also where I've made my networks. There are 3 types of residences, and we offer such a great accommodation, but also really great social programs for our students who live within the residence. One thing to remember, and what a great advantage this is for students, every student gets their own room, so they don't have to share. And so they have their own personal space where they can retreat to for their studies, or just to have their own space. And also we have security on campus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even during those big public holidays like the New Year or even Christmas. We're super proud of our varsity athletics teams. We have 7 of them all together. Men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, women's volleyball, and then men's and women's cross country. We have the most national regional championships in our league. And so we are definitely very proud to support our athletics teams. If you know of a student who is a rock star at any of these sports, just let me know and we can put them in touch with the coach to see what we can do to bring them onto our team. Okay, a little bit about the international community represented at Mount St. Vincent University. We have about 19 student exchange partners all around the world in 16 different countries. Students can choose throughout their studies at Mount St. Vincent University to go to places like China for a short-term study, Denmark, Sweden to do a program in communications, France to enhance their French language skills, or Spain. So we have many, many different partners and many internationalization opportunities for our students towards their degree and their study program. 18% of our student population is from outside of Canada, and we love our international students. And the top 5 regions in which our students mostly come from are the Caribbean, represented by the Bahamas, Jamaica, and then of course students from India, and then followed by students from China, West Africa, and Southeast Asia. These aren't just the only regions in which we welcome our international students. We have students that come from Europe as well. As I said, we have 19 exchange partners, and so they also come over to Canada to begin their studies. We have students coming from Eastern Europe, and we have students coming from Eastern Africa. So many, many different countries that are represented on our campus. Okay, so this is what I was mentioning earlier, experiential learning, learning through experiences or learning by doing. Experiential learning opportunities are available in all of our programs. Some are mandatory, whilst some are voluntary. So it's up to the student to decide whether they want to have a work component as part of their degree. When I speak to students, I always tell them, why not take the opportunity? You're never going to get an opportunity like this ever again at the undergraduate level. So why not take up the challenge to increase your skills, to add skills to your resume, and just to learn from others. So there are 3 types of experiential learning options. We have internships, which could be paid or unpaid. We have co-ops. These are paid co-op work terms, and co-op basically has a very specific set of requirements. You have to complete 3 work terms, and each work term is about 4 months long. And so for a student doing a co-op program as part of their bachelor's degree, they would before they even graduate, they would have 1 year of working experience already under their belt. So what a great experience that was for me as well. It was challenging, but I got to learn a little bit about the Canadian job market. I got to learn a little bit about what's expected of me in a Canadian workplace, but also I got to learn from my seniors and build a network. So these are all opportunities that are great for students to start building their networks and their portfolios. And then we have practicum, and practicum is only available to students in a couple of our programs. And again, this could be paid or unpaid. For example, in our tourism diploma, it's only 2 years. So obviously they can't do our co-op because the co-op is longer and it doesn't fit into the diploma program. So practicum is only about 455 hours of working experience within the industry. Same goes for our child and youth study students. They also do practicums in their degree. So for example, if you were a student in the sciences or in the arts, you can opt to do your internship, and it will happen in the 3rd year, and it's 13 to 16 weeks of work internship in the third year. And then and on the bottom, professional studies, it's incorporative of all these options. So we have co-ops, internships, or practicum. Okay, so what academic programs do we have at Mount St. Vincent University? So this is the bachelor degree programs that you are looking at right now in front of you. There are three main categories available at Mount St. Vincent University. We have the arts, the sciences, and then the professional studies. And of course, you know, in Canada, students can always mix and match to have a little bit more of a specialization in different areas. So for example, a student could do a Bachelor of Arts in psychology with a minor in biology, or you could do a Bachelor of Science majoring in mathematics, but doing a minor in history. So there are different combinations that students could do. But our most popular programs and our most well-known programs are located within our professional studies department. And a lot of international students find these programs very attractive as well. So we have the Child and Youth Study Program. We're the only university on the Atlantic region that offers a degree in this program. And for somebody to be working within the area with children and youth in Canada, you have to get a special level 3 certification, and you can only get that with a degree from Mount St. Vincent University in this area, or within this region, I'm sorry. For lots of students who do have an early childhood education diploma, which is like a 2-year program, they are only accredited with a level 2. And so if they wanted to advance their career within their organization, they wanted to become a little bit more expert in their field, they would complete the degree and get their level 3. And of course, we have business administration, one of our most popular programs. We offer 7 different types of majors. You can see them beneath the business administration majors. You can see that we have HR and accounting, management, and marketing. Co-op is a voluntary option for students within business. So it's up to the student to decide if they wanted to take up a co-op or a work experience as part of their business degree. Some advantages as well of being a business student here at Mount St. Vincent University. In Halifax, we have an organization called the Halifax Chamber of Commerce. It's basically a conglomerate membership of several businesses and really high-end business people that try to advance the areas of business within the city. And so as a student at Mount St. Vincent University, students get free membership to the Chamber of Commerce, which means that they also are able to go to all of the networking events, all of the professional development workshops. They get to build their network with all the members at the Chamber of Commerce. And so that's definitely an advantage in becoming a business student. Then, of course, that's my degree here, public relations. I already told you so much about this. First university in Canada to establish this program back in the 1970s. We're also the only university offering a master's of public relations. And then the co-op work terms are mandatory. Then moving on, we have the Applied Human Nutrition Program. And this program is really special, but also highly competitive. We are one of 16 universities in Canada that's been accredited by Dietitians of Canada to offer a nutrition and dietetics degree. To work in this field here in Canada, you have to get a license, and to meet the licensing requirements, there are many, many steps that you have to do, but always beginning with going to one of the designated universities towards licensing, which is us. And then we're also proud of our tourism and hospitality management program. We were, again, the first university in Canada to establish this degree program in Canada, and proud to offer it alongside a mandatory co-op work term. And so, you know, after we, usually every year we survey our students after they graduate to ask them about their experience, what they can improve, what we can do to make it, to have made their time better. And in this survey, 90% of them said that they were able to gain employment within the tourism industry 3 to 6 months after they graduated. And that's how well we prepared them. All right, moving on to our graduate degree programs. We really don't have that many. We only have about 6 different graduate degree programs. And within these 6 areas of study, there are several different majors. And so, of course, they are in the areas that we specialize in. So, we have nutrition, child and youth studies, communications and public relations, family studies, and gerontology. Women's studies and education. As I said, our founders, we founded this institution on the basis of education, and hence we have so many masters of education to offer. This year, we're also really proud to be able to offer our new graduate diplomas and graduate certificates. So these are new as of May, June this year, and we invited our newest cohort of students into these programs this past September. And so a little bit of information, I'm going to tell you about what the differences are between the master's, the diploma, and the certificate programs under our graduate level. So our master's degrees usually is about a 2-year program, and it could be a thesis based master's, or it could be a course-based master's. And then our diplomas, they're actually a program that only has 6 courses. So they're all course-based. And I believe these courses can be taken within the year or into 1.5 years. And our certificates are only a 4-course program that is taken part-time. And so the students will take about 2 courses in their first semester and 2 courses in the second semester to complete a graduate certificate. Okay, running through very quickly on the admission requirements. How do you get into our bachelor's degree programs if you are a high school student? So admission at the Mount is super simple. We look at 5 grade 12 subjects from high school, and the average has to be about a 60% overall average with no individual subject below 50%. Okay, so some of our programs might require chemistry or other sciences and or mathematics. For example, nutrition requires math and 2 sciences to be taken at the at the high school level, so they can be admitted into the nutrition program. Whereas, if you wanted to be a business student, we only look at the math sciences are not required. If you're speaking to a student who already has a college degree or a university degree, maybe they started in their first year and so they're already in university and decided not to complete it and then come to Mount St. Vincent University, those are categorized as transfer students. So we look at an overall average GPA of 2.0 for admission. And if the student decides that they wanted to transfer some of their completed courses from their home institution to Mount St. Vincent University, all they have to do is apply, and then they have to submit their course descriptions. We will only transfer credits for students who have attended schools that are public, or if they're not public, they have to be accredited by the Ministry of Education in the home country in which it is established. For our master degree students, generally overall, we must require a GPA of 3.0. So that's about a B average. And every program that I spoke of earlier has different requirements, different deadlines, different semesters. So if you're speaking to a student that is interested in a specific master's program, don't hesitate to reach out and we can give you that information, the specifics for the deadlines and requirements. I'm just going to talk very briefly about some of our academic program policies for students who don't quite meet our subject requirements. Earlier, I mentioned to you that for a business student, they have to show that they have completed math at the grade 12 level for admission. Now, we've also come across a lot of students who might not have taken mathematics as part of their grade 12. So this is what happens to applicants who apply to programs that require math, but they did not have grade 12 math. This is called a deferral policy. And basically what happens is the student, if they meet our minimum grade point average and they have the scores, but they're just missing their mathematics, we will defer them from business into our Bachelor of Arts General Studies program. This is like a secondary option for students to show us that they do, they can take the mathematics subject and then change into their primary program of interest. So what is a Bachelor of Arts General Studies? This degree is offers a broad background in the areas of humanities, social sciences, and sciences. And so there is no major declared within this degree program. Generally, students can finish and complete this degree in 3 years because there's no majors declared. And so students who haven't met the average score requirements for entry, but they can't, but do not meet subject requirements for grade 12, they will be deferred into this BA General Studies program. Once the student enters into this deferred program, they have up to 1 year to complete the math requirement. So I would always suggest to students to take it in their first semester. And then in their second semester, after successful completion, we can change their major into their first program of choice. Language requirements, pretty simple. We require an IELTS 6.5 with no individual scores below 6 for a bachelor's degree, and for a master's, the minimum requirement is a 7 with no mark below 6.5. However, if a student does not meet these requirements, we have some options for them to be able to advance their English language before they begin their program. So we do offer 2 levels of English. As you can see, the University Bridging Program is the first, and the second is called the Graduate Preparatory Program, the GPP. For our bachelor degree students, if they miss the mark just by a little bit and they don't quite meet our language requirements, they have an IELTS of a 6, they can come in and do our University Bridging Program, complete it successfully in the first semester, and then enter into their full-time program in the next semester. For our master's students, if they don't quite meet our master's degree requirement, which is an IELTS 7, they can come and do our GPP after their first semester, and after successful completion of the GPP, they can then move on into their master degree program. Okay. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about scholarships. I know lots of people always have questions about scholarships, and we're happy to report that we have been able to make available $3 million in scholarships and financial aid to our students this year. And so right now, I'm just going to be talking about high school scholarships. So scholarships only for students that are finishing high school this year and entering Mount St. Vincent University next year. These are called entrance scholarships. And basically, if a student can show they have an 80% or higher average, they will be given a automatic entrance scholarship. This scholarship has a range. And so we're proud to be able to offer this not only 1 year, but for the 4 years of their bachelor's degree. The higher the average that is achieved, the more scholarship amounts that a student is able to get. So in total, over the 4 years, they can get between $2,800 to $32,000 for their entire education. We also have President's Scholarships for superstar students who can show that they are well-rounded. So not only a high average, but also showing that they have leadership skills, engagement within their community, volunteering, extracurricular activities in their schools as part of their entire portfolio. And a student who wins the President's Scholarship gets a full ride. And basically a full ride means that everything is paid for from their tuition to their residence. The only thing that they have to worry about is paying for their international medical insurance. And this is also for 4 years, and they are awarded to about 10 students per year. And it is a payment of a full scholarship for everything for 4 years. We also have our leadership awards, and these are for students who also show a high average and who also can show that they are extremely engaged and involved with leadership skills. And this is a free residence room in their first year. We also have in-class scholarships for students who perform very, very well after their first year of study here at Mount St. Vincent University. This is an automatic scholarship that is calculated by our registrar's office. And so if a student can show that they have a GPA of 3.7 after their first year, they automatically get a partial scholarship towards their tuition for the next year. Aside from scholarships, scholarships are based on academic merit. Aside from scholarships, we have bursaries, and bursaries are based on financial need. And so we offer different types of programs within our bursary program. And so, for example, we have the Student Works program, which is basically part-time jobs within the campus. Every year, there's about 300 jobs available. And we offer them 12 hours per week at $13 per hour, so above minimum wage, to work in the university. And they can work in several departments. They can work in accounts, they can work in the marketing office, they can work at the library, they can work with our IT team. So there's just many different opportunities for Student Works. Okay, so what are tuition fees like at Mount St. Vincent University? We're happy to say that we have the most affordable tuition pricing in Nova Scotia. And so for this year, for an international student taking 10 classes for this entire semester, this entire year, it's about 16,300 all the way up to 16,700. And there's a range because it depends on the program that they're doing. At the lowest level, those would be our arts and professional studies. And at the highest level, those would be our sciences, because science students have to take extra supplementary labs as well as their classes as part of the program. For our master degree students, $18,407 is the tuition fee for the entire program. So the whole program costs $18,407 Canadian dollars. For residence fees, again, there's a range depending on the room that is chosen and selected by the student. This price includes a meal plan as well. So 1 year of accommodations, room and board, basically, which is between 9,500 to 11,000 Canadian dollars. Every student is mandated to have an international health insurance plan when they enroll at Mount St. Vincent University. And so that's about $654 per year. Last but not least, we have one of these really cool incentives. We call it the sibling discount, and basically 2 siblings can be enrolled at Mount St. Vincent University together at the same time. One of them will pay the full tuition price as stated above in my slide. And then the second sibling would only have to pay half of that price. And so it's a 50% discount. And these students must be attending Mount St. Vincent University together at the same time, and they must be enrolled in their first bachelor's degree. So this is only available to students who are in their first bachelor degree. We won't be able to offer this sibling incentive to students who are in their master's or in a diploma or in a bachelor degree and a master's degree. So they both must be enrolled at the same time in their first bachelor's degree. Okay, application to our undergraduate degree programs are pretty simple. There are only 3 steps. You apply online, you pay the fee, and then you submit the documents. It's as simple as that. For our high school students this year, to ensure that they are in the pool for our scholarships, they should apply before March 1st. And of course, if you have any questions regarding the application process, you can talk to me or you can talk to my colleague Chitra. She's more than happy to assist you with the application process and with giving you a better understanding of our admissions requirements and admissions policies. As you can see on the right-hand side of my slide, there is a QR code available to you. And basically this QR code will bring you to our virtual brochure, as you can see right here. There's lots of really great information in here regarding Mount St. Vincent University and our programs. Every program is also highlighted within the brochure. So if you wanted some information about what cultural studies is, the virtual book will also give you some information. So please do take a picture of the QR code so you can access our digital brochure. And thank you very much. That was the end of my presentation. I know I gave you a lot of information today. And I actually wanted to take about 2 minutes right now to address some not questions, but just wanted to address the pandemic that is happening all around us today. So I just wanted to share that in Halifax itself, right now we've been hovering in single digits for months. And so we have this policy, a very, very tight policy here because of the really good measures and controls taken by the government here in Nova Scotia. So right now in total, we have 3 active cases. We have been 0 for many, many months. And everyone is required and mandated to quarantine if they come from outside of Nova Scotia. So if you're an outsider and you come into this province, you must isolate for 14 days and hence to stop the resurgence of the spread of COVID-19 in the city and in our province. So we're very lucky here. Right now, all around us in Canada, cases have been spiking. There has been a resurgence in Canada recently, as predicted by the World Health Organization. We are in amidst the second wave of the coronavirus right now, and so I'm thinking of everybody in the world and also thinking of all of our partners as well. So I really appreciate that you're spending your evening with me, but I want you to be rest assured and to know that in this province, everything has been taken care of very well. The second thing I wanted to address is, as you may or may not know, recently the Canadian government issued a new travel exemption and restriction policy for our international students. And basically what that means is when an international student has their study permit approved this year or an AIP approved this year, they are allowed now to travel to Canada. However, these students must belong to an institution that are approved for this new travel exemption policy. And so if you want more information about this, you can go to cic.gc.ca and go into the COVID-19 section of the website for international students. You'll see that there is a new travel exemption policy. And so to be approved for this, for universities in Canada to be approved for this new policy, we have to present a plan to our government. And this plan has to be approved by the Public Health Agency of Canada. Once this plan for our students is approved, we will then appear on the government list on the website that I just mentioned. Right now, currently, there are no universities in Nova Scotia that have been approved for this travel policy, but we are working hard on this plan, and we'll be able to announce our approval by early to mid-November. So stay tuned. In about 2 weeks, we'll probably be able to show you that we are on that list. Now, even though we are still following these new travel exemption policies that has been issued by the government of Canada, that doesn't mean that things have gone back to normal here in Canada or even in Nova Scotia. If students do decide that they do want to come to take advantage of this new travel exemption policy, they will still be studying online from their residence. And so the experience will not be the same as it would have been before the pandemic hit us. The students will still be studying online. They will still be required to quarantine. And we are only allowing about up to 100 students to enter residence under this new travel exemption policy. But we have a very good plan in place for our students who do decide that they want to take up this opportunity. And so that's just a couple updates from Mount St. Vincent University. In the winter, the January 2021 semester, we are moving everything online still. And so we are making sure that the community around us is safe, but so are our students and our staff. And so we have decided to continue our studies online for the next semester. And so that's just a quick update for you about the COVID-19 pandemic and how we are handling the situation. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I am open to addressing any questions that you might have right now.
Thank you, Ashley, for this amazing presentation, and it was quite informative. We are having few questions from our partner in India subcontinent. I'll be telling you all the queries we are having. So the first question I'm having from one of the partner, he wanted to know about our online classes, on what platform it is delivered, and how many classes will be symmetrical, synchronized, and how many classes will be asynchronized.
That's a great question. And yes, I wanted to address it earlier, but I forgot. So thank you for the reminder. We have a platform called Blackboard Collaborate, and it's a very intuitive program. And I've taken it myself when I was a student many, many years ago. And so just a little bit of history. Mount St. Vincent University has been giving online learning classes for 40 years. So we are experts in this field. We know how to move classes online very quickly. And so this year it was just seamless because we've had so many years of experience in working in an online environment. And so it was really seamless for our students to move from class to when it went into lockdown and into their classes online. This year, we're offering 250 classes this semester alone. So there are so many classes being offered right now as we speak. And there are classes that are both asynchronous and some that are only synchronous and some that are blended in both. So it really depends on the professor and what their style of teaching is, but we have both.
Thank you, Ashley. Even Ashley, I was having a word with some of our students who are taking online classes, who are in India or maybe in Canada. So the only thing they told me, be it a online class or an in-person class, one thing is assured: you are having a small class size. You are going to have a great interaction with the professors. So Ashley, one more query I'm having here from one of the partners. They wanted to know more about our international student services.
Okay, great question. Thank you so much. So as I told you earlier, our student population is is a rather manageable size. And so our International Education Center is able to provide extensive supportive services, especially during this time at the pandemic. For our international students. So usually in a normal run of the year, we do fun social programs, we do academic advising, cultural advising, we offer language skill enhancement classes all for free. And so we do a lot of different bunch of supports, culture shock, workshops, Canadian culture workshops. But this year they had to shift their focus because of the pandemic, helping students to secure accommodations, helping students if they decided they wanted to be home with their families and taking classes online, putting together a quarantine plan, talking to all of the hotels downtown so we can get a subsidized rate for our students to quarantine, and so many different things right now. So the support that we provide is extensive.
Thank you, Ashley. So one of the partners want to know about the climatic conditions in Halifax.
Oh, great question. I love answering this question. So it's not, okay, so I come from a hot country too. And so of course, it's always a shock when you come to Canada. Don't forget, Canada is located in the northern hemisphere of our Earth. And so of course it's going to be cold. It's definitely going to be colder than most countries that are down lower on the equator. But here is the but. In Halifax, because we are surrounded by the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean actually controls the temperatures that we experience here in Halifax. So we are like the second warmest province in Canada. And by warm, it's relative to Canada. So I'll give you an example. In the middle of winter, the average temperatures can be about -2 degrees Celsius. In the summer, it's not too hot. It's about 28 degrees Celsius in the summertime. So that's the average temperature. Whereas you go into the middle of the country where there is no ocean, it can go up to -30 degrees Celsius in the wintertime. So our climate, we have 4 seasons. It is absolutely beautiful to see snow and especially the fall.
Thank you, Ashley. So I'm having one more question from one of the partner, and they wanted to know, did the university provide airport pickup?
Yes, we do. We do provide airport pickup services. It was a little bit different this year because we didn't have really many students who needed airport pickup services because of the border restrictions. But normally in the run of the year, they provide airport pickup services, and they've been doing this for 20 years for our students.
Is there any charge for the airport pickup?
No, it's free.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Also, Ashley, we are having one more query from one of the agent, and they wanted to know, is the scholarship is offered for January and May intake as well?
Oh, that's an awesome question. And I forgot to address that. No, these scholarships that I talked about are only offered for students who want to enter in September.
So those who are not able to get the scholarships for January or May, they can, focus on their academics, score 3.7 GPA, and they can get our in-course scholarship.
That's right.
I'm having one more query here about the language requirement. Other than IELTS, what are the other language tests which MSVU is accepting at this moment?
So right now we are accepting the IELTS, which is the most popular, but we also accept TOEFL, which is the internet-based test that is offered, and then several other tests as well. For example, CLB, Canadian Language Benchmarks. If you'd like to see all of our tests that we do accept, you can go to msvu.ca/EAP.
Thank you. Actually, we have a query from one of the partner about the deadlines.
Okay. Deadlines for applications.
Yes.
For our undergraduate degree, there is no application deadline because we have rolling admissions. There's always constantly admissions that is happening. So students who want to come in September can start applying now. We just open our applications for September this month, but students can also apply for January or even for May or July. I don't encourage students to apply for January right now, as it's already the end of October, especially for our international students, but there's still opportunities in May or in September or even in January of 2022, applications are open. So we always have rolling admission. However, if you are speaking to a high school student who is finishing their grade 12 this year, they should apply before March 1st, because if they are eligible for entrance scholarships, they will get one if they apply before March 1st.
We have one more question about the admissions. As MSVU is accepting conditional application for undergrad and the grad programs.
Yes, we do accept conditional admission. Usually it's because of language. And so as long as you can show that you have the academic grades required. For our master's degree, it's a little bit complicated. They would like to see that they have taken a test of some kind, or you provide a letter of enrollment from one of our partner language schools to be able to get your conditional admission. And so for the graduate is a little bit more structured. For our undergraduate bachelor degree programs, if you don't meet our language requirements, you will get a conditional admission. If you don't quite meet our academic requirements because you're still in grade 12, you will also get a conditional admission.
Thank you. So Ashley, we got one more query regarding admission. It's
Yes.
about for those students who are supposed to take their high school exam in 2021. Can they apply on the predicted scorecards?
Yes, they will get conditional admission, but then they cannot come and enroll and register they can't do their next steps until we receive the final results.
Okay. So Ashley, now I'm having a very good questions about traveling policies. So
Yes.
a few partners wanted to know about if a student want to travel to Nova Scotia and to take virtual class for January 2021, is
Yes.
the university is helping students for quarantining?
Yes, they are. So we are working on that plan, as I mentioned earlier. Students have to follow a very strict quarantine plan. There's a very strict checklist as well. But our plan right now that we are putting forward towards the government is if students want to begin their classes online from here in Canada, they must arrive on or after January 9th. We will not accept them before that. If they decide they want to come before that, they have to make their own arrangements for quarantine. So students will stay in residence, and because they have already applied for residence, everything will be provided to them in the residence itself. So 3 meals a day will be delivered. There's no extra charge or fee. It's already going to be included within your normal residence fees.
Thank you, Ashley. So Ashley, I'm having a very good query from one of our partner. He wanted to know about Atlantic Canada study and stay in Nova Scotia.
Okay, very good. The Study and Stay Nova Scotia program is a program offered to students that are international students studying in Nova Scotia at all of our universities. So it is coordinated by our cooperative education membership council called EduNova, and EduNova is a non-for-profit organization that promotes international education in Nova Scotia that we are a proud member of, and so we always ensure that our students take advantage of those networking opportunities. About 3-4 years ago, they established this new study and stay program, and it started off with a cohort of 10 as the pilot program, and then when it became really successful, expanded into about 50 to 60 students that we will accept every year from all these different universities. And basically, it is a program to help students not only to study at one of our world-class universities here in this province, but also give them the tools and skills they need should they wish that they want to stay in Nova Scotia and contribute to the economy here. And so it is a program that runs from their first year of their bachelor degree all the way to their 4th year of their bachelor degree. They get many workshops and networking events, but also they get training by professionals that even for myself, if I wanted training from these professionals on how to build a portfolio, I would have to pay hundreds of dollars for, but it's free for these students who are selected.
Thank you, Ashley. That is a very, very informative answer. So Ashley, I'm having one more query about the for letters turnout time for undergrad and for masters.
Yes. Okay, excellent. I know how to answer one of them. Our undergraduate degree admissions is simple. It is straightforward and to the point. You apply, and then as long as your application is complete, you'll hear back by email in about 5 business days. During the really high, heavy peak months of application and admissions decisions, maybe it will take as long as 10 business days, but I've never seen it go that long before. Our graduate level admission is a very different structure. All of our undergraduate admissions is centralized and done by one office, but our graduate admissions is done by several different departments. And so if you're an education student, you will be reviewed by education and their processes, and when they when they process and assess, it depends on the department. And so, for example, students that have applied for our Masters of Child and Youth Study, I'm going to just give you a quick example. They want to come for January, and the deadline for applying it's next week, November 3rd, but they're already starting the process of assessment because they know they have a lot that they have to review. But some departments only review after the deadline. So it really depends on what faculty you apply to.
Yeah, exactly. And one more thing about the masters, once the application is complete, the students submit all the required documents, the transcripts, letter of recommendation, letter of intent, resume. Then only the applications go under faculty review. And the faculty review may take 30 days, 60 days, or maybe higher. And for thesis basis program, it may take long time.
Thank you, Chitra.
So Ashley, I have one more query here about the residence. So how a student can block the residence? Is it per semester or for one academic year?
Usually, actually, it's both. So it depends. There are students who are in residence right now, who have applied for the whole year, and some students only apply for the semester. So it depends. It's up to the student.
That's perfect. So we have answered all the queries by all our partners. You pretty well cover everything in the presentation. I would like to thanks to all the partners who has joined us today for this amazing presentation by Ashley. And I believe all your queries are clear in this session. And in case if you are having more questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. You have Ashley's detail. You can contact me or my colleague Garishma. You can also visit our university website, that is www.msvu.ca. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We are very active on social media like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And you can also subscribe our YouTube channel. There are lots of videos every week about the university, which will give you more insight what we are doing for our students. Ashley, would you like to say something to our partners?
Sure. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today here and to learn a little bit more about Mount St. Vincent University. I hope that you got a sneak peek inside into what the university has to offer to our undergraduate students. So I really thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Please look at the MSM website for the upcoming e-submitted. Thank you. Have a good day.